Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Okay, so we were at, we finished verse 25 last time of chapter 5 of Bhagavad Gita. So whoever has, please open that. And basically in that one we were discussing about, it says the Rishi obtained absolute freedom or moksha, whose sins have been destroyed, whose dualities are torn asunder, who are self-controlled and intent on welfare of all beings. So we discussed all that in detail, that how he is beyond, good, bad and all that. He raised above all that. But his main thing that Swami Chinmayananji was stressing in that commentary of his, that he's intent on the welfare of all being. He doesn't just sit there in a gufa, but he goes and helps out the whole world. That's what it was. So that's what we finished. So the next verse, it's talking about the self-realized person. So we know we are not there yet, but that is our goal. So if we have the goal, we have discussed it. If we have a goal in front of us, then we know what to aspire for. And the whole theme, last couple of verses, a lot of stress on desire and anger, kam and krodh. And we saw that until we get self-realized, kam and krodh is not going to go away. But not come under its sway. And that is so relevant to all of us, because when it comes, then how to get over it. And even if you get swayed in it, then maybe, do contemplation. So next time we are better. We discuss all that, And so that's what just keep that in mind. So I'm going to chant verse 26 now. And then we'll go over some main points and we'll read Swamiji's commentary. Okay. Kama krodha viyuktanam yatinam yatachetasam abhito brahma nirvanam vartate viditatmanam. Kama krodha viyuktanam means of those who are free from desire and anger. Yatinam. So yati is referring to the self-controlled. So yati means of the self-controlled ascetics. Yat chetasam is of those who have controlled their thoughts. Chetasam is referring to our chetana, our thoughts, and the one who has control over the thoughts. Abhitaha. This is a very important word here. And here translation is saying on all sides, but iska thoda different meaning hai ki bhai, while he is in the body, still he will be free, and after he drops the body, he'll be free too. So that Jivan Mukta as well as after the body, he'll be free. So that both ways, on all, that's what it means here. Brahma Nirvanam is absolute freedom. So we have seen that there are different names. There's moksha, there is freedom, there's Brahma Nirvanam, Nishreyas. All these refer to the same state. And vartate is exist vidit atmanam, of those who have realized the self. That's what, the Sanskrit words have, that's the meaning. And so let's see the different points now. So obviously in this verse, again, the state of self-realization is mentioned. And as I already said, that the yati is the one who is a realized soul. And who is this yati? Who is kama krodha viyukta nam, meaning who is free from काम and क्रोध. एक होता है ना युक्त होता है हिंदी में जो जुड़ा हुआ होता है, वियुक्त मीन्स जो नहीं जुड़ा हुआ है. So he is free from काम and क्रोध. Because, why? Because his antakaran is under his control. And he is also who has realized or gained this knowledge of his own self. He has, when we say gained, one is intellectually knowing it, one is he has become one with it, established in it. Like we had that, in chapter 2, Lakshan of self-realized person. That's what it is. He's completely established in that knowledge. So for such a person, whose antakaran is under control, who is free from Kam and Krodh, and who has realized himself, for him, there is a Brahma Nirvan all the time. So as I said, when the body is there, it's called Jivan Mukta. And when the body falls, he's still in the state of freedom, moksha. And so now let's analyze what is Kam and Krodh, where it's coming from. We have done this many times, but in Bhagavad Gita, it's always good to revise, because that's what Krishna Bhagavan is doing too. He's just revising so that we don't forget what we have learned. So the basis of Kam and Krodh is ignorance, according to Vedanta. So what happens is ignorance creates the dosha of Kam and Krodh. And so Kam means desire, right? Desire भी कोई ordinary desire नहीं, clinging desire जिसको बोलते हैं कि इसके बिना मैं रह नहीं सकती, that kind of desire. So this desire for happiness, everybody wants to be happy, right? So we are seeking pleasure, and we have discussed it. We seek pleasure outside कि मेरे को ये मिल जाए, मेरे को वो मिल जाए, मेरा घर ऐसा हो. All those things are these kind of desires. And so seeking pleasure and repeating it. थोड़ा सा joy मिला उसमें, कुछ हुआ तो we want to repeat it again and again. And then because we are seeking pleasure for our senses, that's what Krishna Bhagavan is explaining. And if something comes in on the way of that seeking, then Krodh comes. It starts with the irritation. थोड़ा सा irritate होता है आदमी, फिर वो क्रोध में बदल जाता है. So, Delhi wale Swami Nikhilanand ji was saying that it's a favorite pastime of an ignorant person. Constantly chasing, and seeking and chasing and seeking and chasing. Okay, here I got some mute. Somebody join and I'll just mute it. Okay. So when pleasure, and then he was reminding, Nikhilanand was reminding, he has gone through this science, that when we seeking pleasure outside in the world and we gain something, it turns into greed. Because the person never becomes shanti, usko usme bhi nahi aega, usko aur chahiye, right? और फिर क्या होता है कि अगर satisfy नहीं हुआ तो क्रोध आ जाएगा. We saw that अगर कोई बीच में आ जाएगा. लेकिन अगर कुछ भी मिल जाए ना तो we don't feel fulfilled. That point is a very strong one, because we always think कि मेरे को ऐसा हो जाए ना मैं बहुत खुश हो जाऊंगी. But that full stop never happens. And he actually, he reminded us that there was a verse in Bhagavad Gita and even Mahabharata and all that, these analogies there, that desire is like a fire, he said. Fire में कुछ भी तुम डालते जाओ, पूरा संसार के wood डाल दो, लेकिन वो शांत नहीं हो सकती. So, and kyun? But the question is, why is a human mind like that? That's a very important point, right? Why it is like that. So, he gave an absolutely brilliant reason, and then you will all connect with the reason, because he's saying all of us are seeking infinity. जब तक वो infinity हमको नहीं मिलती है ना, तब तक हम ऐसे ही करते रहेंगे. Because हमारा nature infinity है, हम लोग गलत जगह पे ढूंढ रहे हैं, according to Krishna Bhagavan. So infinity सिर्फ self gain होने से ही मिल सकती है. When you get self realized, then you get infinity. Then all those desires stop. उसके पहले वो ignorance में I keep thinking that these things are going to give me pleasure, and the reason I don't get satisfied because I am seeking infinity, or each one of us, in other words. Okay? So I thought that was a very good point. And that's why he said, even if you go to Swarga, समझो हमने बहुत अच्छे काम किए इस बार, so but हम self realize तक नहीं पहुंचे, but हम स्वर्ग में पहुंच गए समझो. तो स्वर्ग में भी हम satisfy नहीं होते हैं, because that we don't have infinity there. So there is a long period of pleasure, and then he was reminding that all the Puranic stories tell us कि मतलब वहाँ पर सुख सुविधा, तो मतलब जो हम लोग को यहाँ पर सुख सुविधा अमेरिका में बोलते हैं सुख सुविधा है, राइट? फिर भी लोग सेटिस्फाइड नहीं है, वी नो दैट, 1 बिलियन है तो उनको 10 बिलियन चाहिए वगैरह वगैरह. मगर अगर स्वर्ग में पहुँचने के बाद भी इंद्र भगवान वॉज नॉट सेटिस्फाइड. Sometimes he's going after somebody else's wife, and then I want this, और अपने राज्य का उसको इतना था कि कहीं मेरा छूट नहीं जाए and all that. So even in the Swarg, according to, the saints and sages, pleasures cannot satisfy us. Because we are seeking lasting pleasure, and in this particular mechanics, कि भाई मेरे को ये मेरे इच्छा पूरी हो जाए, वो इच्छा पूरी हो जाए, उस mechanics में वो lasting pleasure नहीं है. And then we saw that verse when he said, Dukkha yonaya, it is a womb of sorrow. This sense contact with the objects is a womb of sorrow. We saw that whole thing. And then also Krishna Bhagavan mentioned that this Kam and Krodh, they are the cause of the Papa. Papa is defined slightly different in Vedanta. It's agitation in the mind which takes you away from God. That's Papa. Anything that takes you away from God is Papa, according to, so this Kam and Krodh takes you away. And then he also, I forgot about that. We were doing this, कि भाई अगर इच्छा पूरी नहीं होती तो फिर वो क्रोध आ जाता है, और अगर इच्छा पूरी हो जाती है तो लोभ आता है. लेकिन अगर और भी एक चीज़ होती है, इच्छा पूरी होती है, immediately, you look at other people and see what they have or what they don't have. And if I have something they don't, then I get the pride, oh, mud and vanity, oh, I have this. और किसी के पास हमारे से ज़्यादा हो तो jealousy. So ये सब भाई बहन of like काम and क्रोध के भाई बहन, और desire के actually mainly it's desire. लेकिन यहाँ पर वो word use किया ना, यति. तो यति कौन है? Who has experienced the self, and that's why he's free from काम and क्रोध. So what Nikhilanand ji was explaining, that once किसी को वो establish हो जाए ना वो उस ज्ञान में, तो वो काम एंड क्रोध अपने आप ड्रॉप होता है, उसके लिए स्ट्रगल नहीं करनी पड़ती है, बिकॉज ही वाज सेइंग दैट इफ सपोज मेरे को बहुत क्रोध आता है समझो, हाँ, तो मैं आई एम ट्राइंग टू सप्रेस इट, आई एम ट्राइंग टू थिंक कि मैं ऐसे नहीं करूँ वैसे नहीं करूँ, आई गो टू एंगर मैनेजमेंट क्लास एंड ऑल दैट. अकॉर्डिंग टू द सेंट एंड सेजेस वो सब टेम्पररी क्या बोलते हैं उपाय हैं, दैट इज नॉट द. If you want to completely get rid of it, then you have to go towards a self-realization according to them. Okay. So, and this Yati, to analyze a little bit more what has happened with him is, he has become free from all attachment. And also his senses are under control. Because he doesn't have attachment. That's why his senses are under control. Okay. And you will see that the verse in Kathopanishad is also like very parallel to all these things that we are doing. And then the other important thing that he reminded us, the Swamiji reminded us, is that when we recognize this self, it is without any medium. Okay? Self by itself. Because when will there be no other medium in our mind, in a sense, when our mind becomes absolutely still? That and the example he gave is, a very beautiful analogy he gave is, suppose there is a flowing water. I cannot see my face in it, right? So there's enough light and all, but the water is flowing very fast, so it's going to be very disturbed. So in our mind, constant flow of thought is very, very disturbed. But when the mind becomes still, then I can see my face, right? And then, okay, I have this face. And then even if I go away from there, I will not lose the memory of my face. I will know that I have that face, right? So the self-realized people are like that they have come face to face with the self, and now because their mind has become so still, they have realized, and then they take this with them everywhere. And I remember a very beautiful quote from Osho. He said that a self-realized person is one who creates a temple of happiness around him, and he takes it wherever he goes. Remember Krishna Bhagavan said that this person never gets disturbed. कुछ भी हो जाए, चाहे पूरी दुनिया उलट पुलट हो जाए, उसका जो क्या बोलते हैं, उसका जो समत्वम है उसके माइंड में, वो नहीं जाता है because of this reason, because उसको इतने अच्छे से समझ में आ गया है, so that's what it is. So according to this verse, such a person is the one who attained Brahman Nirvana or moksha. And I think that I already discussed the abhita word. That abhita means ki, when you are in the body or you are dropped off, the body has fallen off. While you are alive, it's called jivan mukta, and later on also you are complete moksha. And then why we are discussing all this is that the next step now, according to Krishna Bhagwan, is the dhyana yoga. Magar all this preparation goes before dhyana yoga. That is the most important thing. But dhyana yoga is the final step according to him. And in Vedanta it's called antaranga sadhana, means innermost. And remember, we did the whole verse in Kathopanishad, how to withdraw the senses into the, mind into the intellect into the mahanatma into the, shantatma. So this is what the antarang sadhana is. So according to the saints and sages, the antarang sadhana cannot be fruitful until you have done the shravanam and mananam. Okay, that is the most important thing. Intellectually try to grasp it from all sides that, what is self and what is my relationship, where do I fall, what is kama krodha, all that we need to know. Because according to, Bhagavad Gita, if you follow the path of meditation earlier, before understanding all this, then what are the danger? You will be meditating on something else only. Okay? You will be meditating on a wrong thing, and it will not lead you to the goal they want you to lead. It still, you will get a lot of benefit. If you just sit quietly, you will get a lot of benefit. And according to them, that is called concentration. So concentration mein kya hota hai? We have taken our mind from all sides and we are focusing on one thing. So in the early sadhana mein bolte hai na ki you breathing pe karo focus. And that's also a very powerful sadhana, because right now your mind is all over. Now you bring it to the breathing, or you have if you have Ishta Devata, like mine is Krishna, Lord Krishna. So if I'm sitting and I'm thinking of Lord Krishna and I'm focusing on it, or anything, Shiva or Om or whatever, or I do japa, all that is a technique for to create a single point mind. Okay. So single point mind will make your mind peaceful and quiet. Okay, but it does not give you self-knowledge, according to them. Okay. So what do you need to gain that self-knowledge? You need Shravanam. You need to listen, read the Shastras, or listen from somebody, or read something, whatever. Mananam, do a lot of contemplation, remove your doubts. Not diets, doubts. And have scriptural guidance. Because that's why the saints and sages, the Shastra Praman lekhe aao. Because they know people will start making up their own things and all that. And understanding my own nature in such a way that my false concept get dropped, according to them. That's the most important thing to do. My false ideas into my head. And suppose he said that after understanding false notion and all this, what I'm doing, Mananam Sharanam, if false notion still remains, that means my understanding is not full, correct, complete. Okay, so it's possible that thoda kacha pakka mujhe mil jayega to bhi, if the false notion remains and I'm this mind, body and intellect, then my understanding is not complete. Okay, and he gave this example. He said that suppose I'm walking and there is a big manhole over there. If I see that manhole, I shouldn't be walking into it. I must stop. But if I walk into it, that means my understanding was not correct. So what he was trying to refer as, sometimes, mujhe samajh mein aa gaya what God is, what I'm not the body, mind and intellect. Magar wo pura pakka nahi hua hai gyan. Then again we start behaving like that, right? We slip. it's like falling into the manhole again. Oh, because I'm not completely convinced somewhere, And then another thing he said, very important, that why he was distinguished between, okay, by chanting, we talk about it, that chanting or sitting quietly or focusing on breathing or doing all that is so important. But intellectually try to understand what he's trying to say. He's saying that if I keep chanting every day, I'm not the body, I'm not the body, do you think that all of a sudden understanding will happen? No, it's not going to happen, So he's saying that that's the problem. And he gave the very, very good example. He said that Einstein ka wo formula hai na, E equal to mc square, right? So he's saying that scientists understand it. Whoever understands this, that's fine. They will know. एक बार उनको समझ में आ गया तब उनके दिमाग में घुस गया क्या है वो. Suppose this one man who doesn't know what is E equal to mc square, and he just says, let me do the japa of E and E equal to mc square. Then he sits and do 10,000 times E equal to mc. So will you understand with that? I thought that was a very brilliant example that he gave. So only japa is not going to get you there. That's what he's trying to say, that your mind will become quiet even by doing E equal to mc square 1,000 times. If you're focusing on it, mind will become even joyful ban jayega. But so he was distinguished between mind and intellect. Remember what we know, that intellect is the deciding factor in us, which is higher. If intellect में कुछ convince हो गया ना, तब भी convince होता है हमें. Mind level पे नहीं. तो कहता mind level पे, oh yeah, japa is very good. Mind ने accept कर लिया. लेकिन intellect accept नहीं करता उसको. Intellect सिर्फ logic accept करता है. That's why, all these different logics are there in Bhagavad Gita, that too. And then in the end, Arjun had the same issue, that many doubts came to him, and he kept clearing it. End में जाके उसने बोला, that yes, my doubts are all gone. I'm going to do exactly what you say, and I'm that's what happened to him. So he was just explaining that, पुराने ज़माने में इसे शास्त्रार्थ करते थे लोग. Everybody know that वो debate होती थी कि भाई some point को लेके. शंकराचार्य जी के ज़माने में वगैरह बहुत होती थी वो. तो उनका एक रूल होता था कि जब शास्त्रार्थ का मीनिंग ये नहीं कि हम लोग नेगेटिव ढंग से लेते हैं कि भाई अपनी अपनी बात पे अड़े हुए हैं सभी, and they are just fighting and as though कोई ट्रॉफी मिलने वाली है. That was not the reason according to him. शास्त्रार्थ इसलिए होता था कि अच्छा मेरी ये आइडिया, आपकी आइडिया, then we keep logic, we go back and forth. And then I realized, one of them realized, oh yeah, you know what he's saying is right, because he's giving so many logics. At that time, they would drop their old ideas and they will accept this person as a guru. और उसकी बात मान लेंगे वो. So इतना openness होना चाहिए कि भाई जैसे कि हम लोग भगवद गीता पढ़ते हैं ना, तो कई बातें is so much different than what we believed in the past, right? So, and then slowly we have to accept that. लेकिन अपनी बात को पकड़ के बैठ जाओ, fanatic attachment to my own ideas, then this doesn't work according to him. I think that was a very important point. So he's saying that कभी-कभी ऐसा भी होता है कि okay, मेरे को सब कुछ एकदम अच्छे से समझ में आ गया और मेरे को लग रहा है कि I am like established in it, suppose, हाँ? But वो ना एक हिंदी में कहावत है, आदत से लाचार, right? In spite of that, I am not able to follow this path. That's the time, to drop that habit, then you have to meditate. So that's what the next verse is. What they are doing is that next few verses are going to be a summary of meditation. And उसके बाद chapter 6 आता है, which gives in a complete detail of meditation. This is just a summary, and this is like a Vedantic style that एक chapter खत्म होता है ना, तो आगे क्या आने वाला है उसकी summary बता देते हैं. Okay, so that's what is going to happen. But this verse में all these things are there. It's almost like a preparation what we have to do before we actually meditate upon that higher self. Anybody has any comment, question? I want to add anything?
Umaji, yes, I have a question, and I have a doubt which should have been cleared at chapter 2, but it's not. I mean, when I think of it. when we talk about desire and anger, that's one thing. Then he's talked about who has controlled their thoughts. That's the second point he's talking about. Now, when I think of it, desire prompts an action.
Yeah, I want to go
There's
get
a
this,
desire
that.
partner. Right. So why are we giving two things for the same thing, really? If the desire is stopped, if we, at the moment the desire comes and I stop it, why are we giving that as 2 points? Who has controlled their thoughts?
I think that it is not really two things. They're just trying to give two different ways to approach it. Because usually, like we have discussed, that all these self-realized souls, they don't get these unnecessary thoughts. Ki bhai, past and future, firstly, they don't have any regrets of past. They don't have any, anxiety of the future. उनको अगर and thoughts उनके कब आते हैं जब उनको ज़रूरत होती है. They are not thoughtless people, right? They use the thought as a tool. Because काम करने के लिए तो intellect mind चाहिए ना. So they will just, but number one, unki desires are, they don't have any desire because they're like, I got everything. Hey, if I got $1 billion, I'm not going to worry about $5. We discussed that, right? And what they want to do is, hey, I got the $1 billion, I want everybody to get it. So then they're going and helping everybody, right? So when they are saying about no thoughts, because you have to remember in what context they are saying no thoughts. No unnecessary useless thoughts of past, and future. Or या मुझे ये मिल जाए तो मैं बहुत खुश हो जाऊंगी. Those kind of thoughts.
They're not talking about vasanas. They're not talking about the desire coming from vasanas.
It's connected though. Why do we get those thoughts? Okay, you only answer that now. Why do we get those unnecessary thoughts? कि मुझे ये मिल जाए वो मिल जाए or anxiety और ये सब.
There is something in me that is still incomplete and I want to
Those are the vasanas.
That's what I'm saying. So those are vasanas. So that means that is different. Those desires are different than when we say who have controlled their thoughts. Now, control their thoughts means what is happening not with those thoughts. If some person doesn't have the desire, as you mentioned, if I have self-realized and I want to help others, that means this is the current thing. This is now. It's not that like I'm bringing something from the
and
past.
Those thoughts are totally okay. So this is what in Vedanta, that's why I always say, and even the other saints and sages caution you, that in what context they are saying, that's very important. So when they say no thoughts over here, don't think about it as a complete thought, But in the other way, you can look at it that when they are sitting in meditation, when they have a sense control. They have control over their mind. They have control on their mind, intellect, senses, right? वो उसकी मर्जी से चलता है. If right now he decides, hey, I want to connect with the higher and no other thing is going to come in my way. That's called no thought. For us, what happens? हमारे कंट्रोल में ही नहीं है. हम लोग बैठेंगे तो हमारे को याद आएगा, अरे मैंने दाल रखी थी, अरे मुझे ये खाना बनाना है, अरे मुझे वो करना है, all those things. So that's what they are referring to. That these people, when they are saying that who are, free from desire and anger and control their thoughts. Even you can look at this control their thoughts is even thoughts of desire and anger. You can think about it that way. There are many ways you can open up this thought thing.
I'm looking at three things. Like one is desire and anger. Second is who has controlled their thoughts, and the third is who have realized the self.
All related, Meena ji. They are all related because it's like बोलते हैं ना कि एक कुछ चादर के 4 कोने हैं, एक को खींचोगे तो 3 आ जाएगा साथ में और भी, right? तो अगर किसी ने डिजायर और एंगर को कर लिया, उसका थॉट्स अपने आप कंट्रोल हो जाएगा. किसी ने थॉट्स को कंट्रोल कर लिया, उसका डिजायर एंड एंगर कंट्रोल हो जाएगा. सो इट्स लाइक, और किसी को सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन में एस्टैब्लिश हो गया तो ये अपने आप ड्रॉप हो जाएगा. दैट्स व्हाई आई सेड नो कि हे यू डोंट हैव टू मेक एनी एफर्ट.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was thinking maybe there is something more than I understand is why they're giving 3 points, because one can take you over.
Because they are just, I told you, Krishna Bhagwan is very kind. Somebody understand thought का science होता है तो वहाँ से देखो. काम क्रोध का समझ में आ गया, वहाँ से देखो. whichever way you want to catch it, does not matter. They all lead to the, but then all road
Roads
lead to Rome. That's exactly what is happening over here, But you
Thank
can,
you.
yeah.
हरिओम मोमा जी.
हाँ बोलिए कृष्णा जी.
हरिओम. मेरा अनुभव है, my experience is
हाँ.
that desires तो हमको आती है, हम लोग को. But if I have a very faith in God, the desire पूरी नहीं होती है तो लगता है मेरी भलाई है इसमें.
हाँ, बहुत अच्छी बात है ये भक्ति मार्ग में तो ये होता ही है कि भाई जो भगवान ने किया है वो he knows better than me. Our teacher used to say that.
To
Yes.
the thoughts, you have to divert your mind to that भगवान की बातों में, for the thoughts.
Very good point.
So then you become free.
Yes.
I try and engage myself in all busy, keep myself in reading, meditation, yoga, in connection with the God.
Yes. Excellent point.
मेरे को ऐसे लगता है desires तो आती है अभी तक, but if they are not fulfilled, I think it's God's wish, because I have totally faith in God. Whatever He'll do for me must be the best.
And actually that is the truth, because that is 100% truth. Because those people, I listen to those.
That is why prayers work a lot. You know.
If you do the right kind of prayer, yeah.
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 Right kind.
Right kind of.
When
Do
you
what
have
is.
some thoughts.
Yeah.
Then if you have, if you do prayers and we have totally faith in God, then they don't matter for us.
See, because you said they mentioned this, because in Bhagavad Gita, twice Arjun says, Krishna Bhagavan, please tell me what is Shreyas for me.
Yeah.
When remember that? He didn't say, tell me what is just best for me only. Shreyas is something higher that going to take me to my higher growth of spirituality, and something that is good for everybody, not just me. So the Shreyas word is exactly when we surrender to God, we are asking for Shreyas. उसमें वो शायद हमें difficulty भी दे दे, because for my growth, right? In fact वो तो famous दृष्टांत है कि कृष्ण भगवान को ने एक वो बहुत गाय से attached था, एक whatever ग्वाला, और उसकी गाय ही छीन ली. सबने बोला ये क्या किया आपने, तो बोला नहीं, उससे ज्यादा अटैचमेंट उसको था, उसकी मुक्ति होने वाली थी, लेकिन वो गाय को पकड़ के बैठा था, तो उसकी गाय मर गई बेचारी की. So that's a dristant, but if we can see in negativity also some hand of God, that means your surrender is getting stronger for sure.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Yes, very good. Yeah. Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay, so what I want to do today is we are going to go straight to Kathopanishad. There's two reasons. One is I'm not going to do another verse here because we didn't finish reading Swamiji's commentary on the last verse that we did in Kathopanishad. And also the next verse that was coming is very power-packed. Uttishta Jagrata. And, we have heard this from Vivekananda so much. So I thought, we can spend more time on that because it's in line with this, whatever we are doing anyway. So if nobody has any other question or comment, I'm going to close Bhagavad Gita here and we'll go to Kathopanishad. Is that okay? I can hear you.
Are we going to read it?
Meenaji.
We're not going to read it.
I think I am in La La Land. Yes, of course we are going to read Swamiji's commentary. Okay, who's going to read? Meenaji or Sushilji, whoever wants to read.
Okay, I'll read it then. Okay. Absolute freedom or Brahmic bliss exists on all sides for those self-controlled ascetics who are free from desire and anger, who have controlled their thoughts, and who have realized the self. By the work of serving mankind, the duties of reinstating godly life in the bosom of the satanic age, the love in the heart that tries to redeem the prostitute or to cure the leper, the joy, enthusiasm to light and guide where darkness and blindness revel. The master is not bartering where darkness and blindness where darkness and blindness revel, the master is not watering away his chances to live as God of gods, even in this world, here and now. Just as a doctor working among the unhealthy and the suffering is not himself contaminated by the diseases or the sorrows, so too a mastermind working amongst the wretched and the lustful, the passionate and the sensuous, the false and the low, is not in any sense of the term touched, even by passing breeze or the stink around him.
So I know this when Swamiji's language is so flowery and all that, sometimes you get lost. All he's trying to tell you is, this word abhito. Abhita means from all sides. He's like, he has a moksha from all sides. It's like he remember the previous verse we read, he has a welfare of entire people, right? And then so he moves freely among whoever, कितना भी wretched क्यों ना हो, इस बंदे को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला है. हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, डरते हैं हम अपने बच्चों को भी प्रोटेक्ट ना, वी शुड. आई मीन आई एम दैट डोंट गो एंड गलत संगत में मत पड़ जाओ, उधर मत जाओ. या हम लोग को भी सब बोलते हैं कि डोंट हैंग आउट विद फ्रेंड्स हु आर गोना मेक यू शराबी कबाबी एंड ऑल दैट, आई एम जस्ट सेइंग. सो बट दिस पर्सन, ही हैज नो फियर बिकॉज हिज जीवन मुक्ति इज सो स्ट्रॉन्ग दैट ही डज नॉट गेट अफेक्टेड. वो जहां जाता है वो सभी का कल्याण ही करता है. एंड वी नो that even today's saints and sages, like Shri Ravi Shankar ji and even probably Sadhguru, they go to, jails and things like that. जितने भी hardened criminals हैं, उनसे जाके वो बात करते हैं, उनको भी ऊपर उठाते हैं. और श्री रवि शंकर जी तो टेररिस्ट से जाके बात करते हैं. और they are, because they believe that divinity in everybody. वो थोड़े भटके हुए लोग हैं और उनको दिखाई नहीं दे रहा क्या कर रहे हैं, मगर अगर उनको थोड़ा मन उनका शांत कर दिया जाए तो वो लोग भी देखेंगे. और वो बोले कि कभी कभी ये लोग फूट फूट के रोते थे कि भाई हमने ये क्यों किया, बिकॉज एंड ऑल दैट. सो दैट्स द पॉइंट ही इज ट्राइंग टू मेक, कि उसको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. एंड देन ही एक्सप्लेन्स इन द सेकंड पैराग्राफ द सेम पॉइंट.
How this immunity is maintained and preserved by a man of equipoise even amongst the temptations of the vicious atmosphere is indicated here in this stanza. When a sincere seeker has, through his own intelligent self-effort and divine self-application, redeemed himself from the secret charms of the ever-murmuring hosts of sense appetites in himself, when he has conquered the instincts of lust and anger in him, when he has thus completely mastered all threats arising from within him and those that come to him from without, such a sincere pursuer of the life divine, when he has known the self, gains the bliss of perfection, both here and hereafter.
So now it is clear, right? So he's just saying that he has controlled both the things. अपने अंदर से आने वाली प्रॉब्लम्स को उसने कंट्रोल कर दिया, काम क्रोध को, और बाहर के इन्फ्लुएंस को वो इन्फ्लुएंस नहीं होता है. दैट्स व्हाट दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट. बिकॉज हम लोग थोड़े कच्चे होते हैं ना, तो एक तो अंदर का भी प्रॉब्लम है, काम क्रोध का वेग आ जाता है, और बाहर के लोगों से इन्फ्लुएंस हो जाते हैं. जो जिसकी भी बात सुने, हाँ जी वही ठीक है. राइट. So, but these people are not like that. They are so established, they are immune to anything. That's all they're saying.
The postmodern promises are looked down upon with withering contempt by the Hindu rishis and their children. Vedanta promises godhood and perfection now, here, and forever after. In this connection, Shankara has given a beautiful summary of the Krishna technique expounded in his Bhashyas. To translate the great Vedantin, Acharya Shankara, it has often been and will be declared by the Lord that Karma Yoga, which is performed in complete devotion to the Lord and dedication to Him, leads to moksha step by step. First, the purification of the mind, then renunciation of all actions, and lastly, moksha.
So here he's talking about, firstly he's talking about जीवन मुक्ति, because he says मरने के क्या बाद क्या होगा हमें क्या पता, don't worry about that, because बाद में स्वर्ग मिलेगा, I don't care कोई बोलेगा, right? He said no, you're going to get free now. वो बात सभी को अपील करती है, and anyway जो जिसको मुक्ति अभी मिल गई उसको तो बाद में तो है ही, right? वो चली तो नहीं जाएगी. That's number 1 point. And now he's talking about how शंकराचार्य जी ने जो कृष्णा टेक्निक को समराइज किया है कि कर्म योगा से शुरू करो, where the complete devotion and surrender is what Krishna ji was talking about over here, dedication to him. That will lead to moksha step by step. And what is the step is purification of mind. And then and renunciation of action is a karma mode. Don't think that you have to drop all action, because don't misunderstand this over here. Because people will say, oh, sab kuch chhod ke gufa mein baith ja. That's not what he's saying. He's saying doing action in the karma mode, and then that will lead to moksha. That's what the path is, according to him.
And the last paragraph is, and now to enunciate the dhyana yoga, the nearest and the most efficient means to right knowledge, the Lord teaches the path of meditation in the following few aphoristic verses.
So these are the ones that I said that, 27, 28, there are these few verses are going to talk about meditation, and then we discussed that how you have to prepare for it before. So that's any comment, question, anybody wants to add anything? Okay, everybody okay? All right, so I'll close Bhagavad Gita now. सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यः मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम.